Hello, readers of Every Word, and welcome to Every Word 365. I'm your host, Christina Munoz-Madsen, and today we're reading Song of Songs 1 through 8. So what did you think of Song of Songs or Song of Solomon, depending on which Bible you're reading? Why the two different names? Well, this song is one of 1005 that Solomon wrote. The title, Song of Songs, is a superlative, meaning it is the best one. The original Hebrew version of the book took its title from the book's first two words, Shar Hashirim, usually translated as the Song of Songs. This latter title remained in Greek and Latin Bible translations in later centuries. The repetition of the word song indicates that the writer considered this the greatest of all songs. We find a similar construction in other famous biblical phrases, Lord of Lords, King of Kings, and Holy of Holies, just to name a few. The title of the book eventually took on King Solomon's name because of the mention of his name throughout the book. This title change also supports the traditional view of Solomon as the author of the book. While numerous critics in the last 2 centuries have disputed Solomon's authorship, the internal evidence seems to support it, not only because of the appearances of Solomon's name, but because of evidence of his royal advantage and his numerous wives and concubines. I know that was long, but I have called it both, so I wanted to explain why you might see it as Song of Solomon and you might see it as Song of Songs. On to the reading. Please know that I certainly don't want to be insensitive to those of you who are single or divorced or both. Reading this book might be very difficult, and again, I encourage you to reach out to me or a trusted mentor to discuss further, especially if you get upset or have negative feelings while reading through books that are clearly written for a married couple, and this is one of those cases. So, this is from The Purpose of the Writing from Got Questions. The Song of Solomon is a lyric poem written to extol the virtues of love between a husband and his wife. The poem clearly presents marriage as God's design. A man and woman are to live together within the context of marriage, loving each other spiritually, emotionally, and physically. This book combats 2 extremes: asceticism, the denial of all pleasure, and hedonism, the pursuit of only pleasure. The marriage profiled in Song of Solomon is a model of care, commitment, and delight. Keep in mind, this is poetry, so I'm not even going to attempt to tell you what some of these verses mean. But I think some of the language is fairly seductive. Would you agree? Like the finest apple tree in the orchard is my lover among other young men. I sit in his delightful shade and taste his delicious fruit. I'm not going to go there with what that might mean, but I think you understand what I'm trying to say. That was Song of Songs 2:3. Your breasts are like 2 fawns, twin fawns of a gazelle grazing among the lilies, Song of Songs 4:5. This is what I was talking about when I said this book can make adults blush or be embarrassed. We don't talk about this stuff a lot, and a lot of people didn't know that this stuff was in the Bible. Your thighs shelter a paradise of pomegranates with rare spices, henna with nard and saffron, fragrant calamus and cinnamon, and with all the trees of frankincense, myrrh, and aloes, and every other lovely spice. That is Song of Songs 4:13-14. I'm not even sure if I pronounced those correctly, but you get the idea. I'd ask what you think they mean, but I'm kind of afraid to know what your response would be. I'm kidding, of course, but as adults, I think we can figure out what it's trying to say metaphorically. So again, may not have known that this stuff was in the Bible. Just remember, if you're struggling in marriage, we all have been there and we all do. There is a godly way to be intimate. So this might be a good book to read together with your spouse in a loving way. You could even giggle a little if that happens to be the case. And please know that I'm not trying to begin any sort of political debate, just offering insight from the biblical resource that we often use, which is gotquestions.org. This is the brief summary. The poetry takes the form of a dialogue between a husband, the king, and his wife, the Shulamite. We can divide the book into 3 sections: the courtship, the wedding, and the maturing marriage. The song begins before the wedding, as the bride-to-be longs to be with her betrothed and she looks forward to his intimate caresses. However, she advises letting love develop naturally in its own time. The king praises the Shulamite's beauty, overcoming her feelings of insecurity about her appearance. The Shulamite has a dream in which she loses Solomon and searches throughout the city for him. With the help of the city guards, she finds her beloved and clings to him, taking him to a safe place. Upon waking, she repeats her injunction not to force love. On the wedding night, the husband again praises the beauty of his wife, and in highly symbolic language, the wife invites her spouse to partake of all she has to offer. They make love, and God blesses their union. As the marriage matures, the husband and wife go through a difficult time, symbolized in another dream. In this second dream, the Shulamite rebuffs her husband and he leaves. Overcome with guilt, she searches the city for him, but this time, instead of helping her, the guards beat her, symbolic of her pained conscience. Things end happily as the lovers reunite and are reconciled. As the song ends, both the husband and wife are confident and secure in their love. They sing of the lasting nature of true love, and they yearn to be in each other's presence. And this is from the practical application portion. Our world is confused about marriage. The prevalence of divorce and modern attempts to redefine marriage stand in glaring contrast to Solomon's song. Marriage, says the biblical poet, is to be celebrated, enjoyed, and revered. This book provides some practical guidelines for strengthening our marriages. Number 1, give your spouse the attention he or she needs. Take the time to truly know your spouse. Number 2, encouragement and praise, not criticism, are vital to a successful relationship. Number 3, enjoy each other. Plan some getaways. Be creative, even playful with each other. Delight in God's gift of married love. Number 4, do whatever is necessary to reassure your commitment to your spouse. Renew your vows. Work through problems and do not consider divorce as a solution. God intends for you both to live in a deeply peaceful, secure love. And again, that is from a Got Questions link on the Song of Solomon. And an interesting tidbit about the use of the word sister in some translations. So I'm including a link from Got Questions about that as well. And of course, another Bible Project overview video, because we did finish up another book, and I will notice that they say that Solomon is likely not the author. We covered that in the Got Question article. So again, those are the things that can be and are highly debated. So after all of that, I hope you're still doing okay and hope you're still hanging with us. We will start the book of Isaiah, which means you've read through 22 books. You're doing great. Keep it up. Happy reading.